All right, folks, George here with Restart, and today I would like to share something really cool with you. What this is a quick walkthrough of our signal-based outbound process, right? And by the end of this video, you will have a very good understanding over like um, what we do and how we do it, okay? And so I will start here, as you can see in Warmly. And of course, you can use any other visitor identification software as long as it has, high quality data, and as long as it allows you to push data from the tool to over to other tools like Clay, for example, right? And so what we do here is a couple of things. So as soon as a contact is identified, a contact that visit the website, right? Um, we identify that contact and we filter it only for contacts that are not customers, and we do that by setting up a custom segment after having connected, of course, our CRM, which in this case is HubSpot, with Warmly. And of course, at the same time, this is an end filter, an end condition. They like these contacts should visit a page with high intent, which could be the pricing page, which could be an alternatives listicle, which could be a comparison page, and so on. And they stayed there for over 1 minute, which certainly shows some intent, right? Now, don't anchor on the 1 minute duration. It could be 30 seconds, it could be 45 seconds, doesn't matter, as long as it's not a random visit for just a few seconds and then they bounced back, or they moved to another website, and so on and so on. Okay. And so as soon as that happens, as soon as a contact is being identified that fits that criteria, we then push that through a webhook over to Clay, right? What I would like to note is that this workflow has two parts. One of them is for contacts and the other is for accounts. Okay, so we identify both contacts and accounts, and I will explain how this plays out and why this is important in the next step, which is Clay. So we are in Clay, and as you can see, we have two tabs in this workbook. We have identified the one that's identified contact visited website, and the other that's identified company visited website. Okay, and so basically these two tabs represent the two orchestrations slash workflows we've set up in Warmly, right? And we push data from each of these to each of these tabs via webhooks, as I explained. Okay, and we color code basically the information we have here. With blue, we have anything that receives or sends data from and to Clay. With green, we have the information that's available to us. With yellow, we have anything that's like a calculation, AI, normalizations, and so on and so forth. And then we also have, as you can see here, highlighted with purple, all these elements that are variables that we use when we push information outside of Clay to other tools, such as in this case Instantly and enriched. And in the end, as you can see, we have some more blues from the data we push outside of Clay. Okay, but let's take it from the beginning. Before I delve any further here, let me just say that what we are trying to achieve here is that we push data, as I explained, from Warmly to Clay, and we have contacts, and we also have companies. Contacts are contacts that have been identified by Warmly, right? So Warmly in this case doesn't just give us the company name, company website, and so on and so on. It also gives us the specific contact that is, most likely to be that visitor on, this specific page that fits that criteria based on our orchestration. Okay, and so that's that. But we also have companies, right? And we will get to that. But first, I would like to walk you through into this tab first, just to show you how this works, what's the logic behind it. So we start by, adding tabs from the webhooks we have available. From the webhook, we send, and we take this information and we start with some normalizations. For example, we have to normalize the headcount, because in this particular example, our client has very specific size bands that they are interested in, and we try to match those so that then we can use them for segmentation purposes. Okay, we have all sorts of information such as revenue, the state, the city, first name, and so on. And then we do some email validations, and we try through a series of enrichments to find the best email for this contact. Now, the email in most cases is being given to us, since this is based on a contact orchestration, but still we want to make sure that we find the best possible email, and for that we have several layers of enrichment and research. Okay, so we find that, which is also a variable, as I mentioned, thus it's highlighted in purple. And then we find the LinkedIn URL, because we need that for reaching out to these people on LinkedIn and connecting with them on LinkedIn. And then we have all sorts of things that are important in the context of crafting or setting up, building our campaigns. Okay, we have two campaign managers. We have one for Instantly and one for Hayrich. And basically what this is think of it as the generator of variables, all these variables that we then push over to Instantly and Hayrich, so that we can connect with these people on via email and LinkedIn respectively. Okay, so we get all these variables and we push them to Instantly, as I mentioned, or Hayrich. Okay. The thing is that here we reach out to everyone, since all of these contacts identified, or most of these contacts identified, are from the US. Okay, so there are not so many limitations when it comes to whom we can reach out via email or LinkedIn. Okay, the reason why I'm mentioning that is because in the context of companies identified, we have to do some like extra checks, okay? Because these are not people just from the US, and thus we need to make sure that we comply with local regulations such as GDPR and so on. Okay, just to stay on the safe side of things, even though always when we reach out for signal-based outbound purposes, we use business emails. Okay, and the context is always business first, right? So what we have here that is let's say different from the other tab is we have this VLOOKUP essentially function or capability feature that Clay offers, which allows us to identify whether this contact was found in the contacts tab. Okay, and the reason why this is important is because this is like a company we will reach out to, and we wouldn't want to reach out to like the same person twice and add them to different campaigns. And so we basically try to find whether this is a record that was found in the contact visited website tab. If there was a record found, we have it labeled as record found, otherwise no record found. And we use that so that then we can move on to the next of our enrichments, okay, and research. One of the things we do here is that since we don't have a contact, we just have the company, is we have to find the best contact, right? And we do that based on like our client's ICP in this case, which is kind of, in this particular case, kind of, unique and somewhat complicated. But we find the right person using Clayagent, and we find all sorts of information like, first name, last name, LinkedIn URL, their seniority, and always, especially when we make such enrichments, we ask for the AI's reasoning, like why did you pick that like person, that contact? Okay, we validate their email, and the rest looks somewhat familiar, except for the fact that here, because these companies we have here, and the consecutively the contacts we identify are not all of them are based in the US, right? We will trigger like this automation here, which basically flags companies and contacts who are not based in the US, and more specifically, they are based in EU. So then we can exclude them from instantly, and we can reach out to them only through LinkedIn, okay, with the help of HeyRich, okay. And so we do that, and we push information at this point from all sorts of variables, along with the emails or the LinkedIn URLs, over to Instantly and HeyRich. And from there, we are in the position to, like reach out to these folks and set up sequences for following up, and so on and so forth. Okay. So when we are in Instantly, as I explained, the leads are basically pushed automatically, right? This runs on autopilot, and our team will occasionally check these tables to make sure that everything runs smoothly, we don't have any hiccups, and so on and so forth, because obviously there are many moving parts here and many things can change or can go wrong. So we have to oversee the campaigns, right? Especially when you have AI involved, you should never like take for granted that AI will not start out of the blue altering its behavior, right? And so you need to have rails in place, and you need to ensure that in all cases you like show up with the best face possible to these people to whom you're reaching out. Okay. And so the leads are being added here. We have, by default, we have in our sequences just one follow-up email, right? We don't set up like 6, 7, 4, 5, whatever, pick your number, email sequences. We want to keep things tight, and we also want to be respectful of people's, inboxes and attention. And thus, we have one email that's being sent out 30 days after the first email was sent to that particular contact. Okay. If you scroll to the right, which I'm not going to do that in this table, you will see that there is like you can see the variables that we bring from Clay to Instantly, and you can choose. You can like work on options. For example, you can adjust the senders you want for this particular campaign. You can adjust the schedule. You can take a look at your analytics for this particular campaign, and so on and so forth. So with Instantly, we cover the email part of signal-based outbound. And there is one last part here, which is the LinkedIn part of outreach, which, for us, we do that. One of the tools we use is HeyRich. And so for HeyRich, we try to keep things, fairly simple as we do with email. The campaign starts by sending a connection request always, right? And we assume that the connection request has not been accepted after 5 days from like the moment we send out this connection request. Obviously, there is routing based on like the salesperson who is reaching out to that like lead and so on, which is another another topic. But we have a connection that's considered, like not accepted after 5 days. And once a connection, accepts our connection request, then we have a delay for 1 day, and then we send them a message. Okay. All these are predetermined and like preloaded into HeyRich. And from there, we give them 1 day to consider that, what, like they haven't replied, or if they reply, then the salesperson responsible for this campaign will take over through the Unibox, which is also the same in Instantly, right? And so that's the way we go about things. As I explained, everything starts in Warmly. From there, through some filters and with the help of a webhook, we send data over to Clay. We do all sorts of enrichments, and we like split things into contacts and companies. And from there, we send, all these variables along with, the email and the LinkedIn URL, so that we know, whom we are reaching out to. over to instantly and reach. And that's that. That's basically your signal-based outbound campaign, right? You start from a visit on a high-intent page that's over that's 1 minute long, or or exceeds that. You start from there. You identify these people and companies, and then you can reach out to them and send them a great offer that's packaged like with the help of very good copy, and hopefully get them to like either try your product for free if that's your part of your offer, or get them on a demo with you. Okay, let me know what you think, and stay tuned for more videos like that. Thank you.